Evening everyone, this is Killface of Balor. If it's not evening where you are, I apologize. Anyway, I thought I would take a look at my build with you. No idea whether you'll approve, but it works for me. First thing we're going to look at, I believe, is my gear. In this case, you can see I have full frozen. Excellent, excellent armor set. I love it. I stopped collecting the poison damage armor, the rogue obsidian, when I got full frozen, because I realized that the frozen aura was so useful to my build that the 100 poison damage would just not make up for it. My fashion is the white spider set, plus the white wayfarer's headdress, and the archfire fists, which I got for being part of the Gelebron's Tower beta testing here on Android. My jewelry, I would really like the Comrex's Iron Root set, because I have two pieces for it. Here is the necklace. As you can see, it adds 100 dex, 100 vitality, and 300 physical attack evasion. We have the ring, which is 50 dexterity, 250 health, and 150 more physical attack evasion. And as far as the charm, we have a Greatest Silverweb Charm of Striking, which adds the 30 strength as well as 4 points in quick strike and 4 in assassinate. This is not as good a charm for my build as one might think, but it's not bad. It's quite a good charm. We on Balor have been leveling up as much as we can during these past few events to try and catch up. Now we've got some in-game people and we can take down 200s, but that's fairly recent, so we have a lot of these lower level gears that we must use on even the higher level toons. As you can see, this should have been given up several levels ago. The 140 version of this charm would be far superior. Now, the bracelets. This is from the current event, the Grand Ember Drake Bracelet of Striking, which I got from Lady Katana, who was in my clan at the time, a druid, excellent player, good friend of mine. Anyway, here we have the Poisoner's Bracelet of Strength, an Aggie Brace, 75 Strength, and 5 Poison Weapon Skill. This cost me a pair of black Wildwood boots and 80k, I believe. But I am the legendary Poison Weapon Rogue. I was the first Poison Weapon Rogue of Balor. I started out with a Poison Weapon build from level 1. Hate on it all you want, it worked for me, and honestly I tend to do it again when I start new builds. The 250 Cunning is there as well, as you can see, I'm sure. This, the Wild Grove Ring of the Zephyr, was a gift from Updown. Amazing fellow, quite helpful. Perhaps the most helpful person to me, except probably Antonio Mack from the start of the game, who is currently the chief of Exodus, my current clan. So this adds the 20 energy regen, 40 focus, 40 dexterity, 200 energy. Normally I don't deal with things that add focus, but I needed the energy, and I needed the energy regen. My only regen is that 20, and you'll see my offhand, which I should have showed, also has 20 regen. I'll go back to the armor here in a minute. This is a haste ring. Took me forever to save up for this, and the most gold I've ever saved. I'm not a plat bar, I'm just a broke noob who's happened to play for a long time. So this is the Ring of Haste, level 100 requirement, 30 strength, 100 health, and 30% haste. Wonderful investment. It lets me level up with only a HP regen licks and an XP licks. And this is from the Silverweb no, this is from the Yule event, the Grand Frost Iron Ring of the Thorn, which adds 5 riposte, 100 cunning, and 25 armor. I like it. I've got some potentials to replace it, actually. I may show some of my optional switch-out jewelry here soon. No. This is what we wanted. So this is my offhand. The Dagger of Slaying, 25 pierce damage, 60 poison damage, and 200 attack, as well as 20 health and energy regen per tick. So 40 energy, 20 health is my total. The Frozen Meteoric Dagger is incredible. I love it. You should love it too. So we have the 65 pierce damage and the 1900 speed, which is nice, as well as the energy, attack, and the 5% chance of Divine Strike. Divine Strike on boss fights is a wonderful, wonderful thing and should definitely be used. Rogue Armor I'll go through in reverse order and show you what all of these are. You may pause this at any time if you feel the need. Now, the wounding and weakening attack evasion that this adds, I actually like, because if I get the Karmic set that I'm working on now, it's not the wounding and weakening attack evasion, it is the physical attack evasion, which means I have one more type of evasions. So, there you go. As you can see, the Rogue Armor basically adds attack and energy. That's where you're going to see the changes. So, we'll look at the hood. Love this armor. It's beautiful. Now, we will look at the shoes. Frozen armor is going to start, gloves, at level 110 and end at level 130, with the dagger being at 135. Sorry, folks. My internet is terrible, so it cut out. Anyway, as I was saying, your armor will start with the gloves at 110 and will end with the breastplate at 130, with the dagger coming at 135. The weapons quests are kind of unconnected to the armor quests, but as far as the armor quests were going, as I was saying, do not turn in the things for your frozen gloves, and the reason is the meteoric version were Zodiac gloves. They were these exact gloves, which someone then freezes for you and makes it part of a new set, meaning you lose your meteoric set bonus. Your meteoric set bonus is worth more than what you gain from the frozen gloves and the frozen boots combined. At the point where you get the hood, then perhaps it's debatable. At the point where you get the legs, then your frozen is probably better. But you bank everything that you needed until level 120 minimum. And then you turn it all in at once, and then you equip all the gear, and you get enough added armor and various things to be worth losing your set bonus over. Because otherwise you're losing lots of health and energy, 200 health, 200 energy, 300 chaos resistance, 75 divine damage, if I'm not mistaken, from your meteoric set bonus. Here's the frozen set bonus. There you go. As soon as you get your frozen armor set, you should definitely camp Pyrus. His respawn time is currently between 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 4 hours. So when you kill him, he could spawn anywhere from 2 hours and 15 minutes from then to 4 hours from then, but somewhere in that window. Now, let's take a look at my stats. I am 143, level 143. As you can see, I'm poor. 2 plat, 1,000 gold. So, my vitality has always been, from the very start of the game, my level times 3. So I'm 143, multiply that by 3, you'll get 429, which you'll see is my base stat. Any vitality I can get on top of that is an excellent bonus, but I don't count it. Here is the, you'll see the focus at 50. I never put points in focus, but we showed the Ring of the Zephyr, which is adding that 40 stat points, and it is a good enough item that I was okay with it. Really, one of my bragging rights has been 10 focus the entire game, but hey, if I get free Lux that has an extra 40 focus, so be it. Anyway, my strength, as you can see, is at 5. All of my stat points coming from gear, which would be my haste ring, my charm, and my bracelets both add strength. So, at this point, I put 3 in vitality, 2 in dexterity every level. Early on, when I can't get bonuses from strength, I did 3 in vitality, and then split
my dexterity and strength with twice as many points in dex as I had in strength. Meaning that basically, if I would have 15 points to spend, right, then we would put 9 of them in vitality, and the other 6 we would put 2 in strength, 4 in dexterity. Yeah, you'll have to think about that for a minute. Maybe, hopefully not, but if you do, I don't know how better to explain it than that. That was kind of how I heard it. I'm based off of Papi's dex build, stickied in the forums. And you can see I'm mostly a dex build other than my vitality, after my vitality. So let's take a look at my skills. Here are the skills. So this sneaky attack I use at level 1 because it's boosted by the current event brace that I have. Same thing kind of goes for assassinate, which is actually, whoa, good heavens, hideous thing, there we go. Which is actually boosted by 2 pieces of jewelry that I have, both the current event brace and, as you can see, there's skill points in it from my charm. Quick Strike, you're going to hate me for this, but my Quick Strike is at level 6. I put a point in it somewhere back in the beginning and I don't want to alt over it. I've got 4 more points from my charm, but as a general rule I don't use Quick Strike because it was eating up too much of my energy and not giving me the damage that I wanted. Yes, and I know it's free, but all the same, all my other skill points are serving a purpose that I'm not willing to give up at the moment. So, one of the big things that I do is I max poison weapon. I have been the poison weapon rogue ever since the game started. I was Balor's first poison weapon rogue, and that has yet to change. I have changed for a day or 2 at a time, a couple of times to try a new build, but I hated them all and changed back. As you can see, I've got it at 35 out of 30. That would be my Aggie Brace. Adds 91 poison damage, which seems rather pitiful, perhaps, to some, since, you know, I could be getting, I don't know, 1,000 from the Quick Strike. But if I were to go fight, say, the DL King right now, my Quick Strike would do almost nothing. But if I poison weapon 3 different level 200s, then I am genuinely adding enough damage that I'm making a big difference. I'm adding, what, like 273 poison damage per auto, which, if you assume everyone is swinging once every 2 seconds, level 200s should all be hasted, so even if they're warriors, they should be close to that. And they miss half the time, meaning they hit once every 4 seconds. That means that once every 4 seconds, I'm adding 270 damage. Which is not bad for possibly being, you know, many, many levels below whatever boss I happen to be fighting. So that was kind of my reason for keeping it. Also, my autos are fairly fast, so it does add up okay. Riposte, I love Riposte. It works great for soloing, so I use it. The 5 extra from here is from the Grand Frost Iron Ring of the Thorn. You can see that there. I get decent damage. It doesn't hit anywhere near 1,800, but I've had 1,500 hits on a regular basis. Here we've got my fast reflexes, which is where I put my extras. It gives me the 750 defense boost, and I know a lot of people like to max it, but I'm finding it's not making a huge enough difference to make it worth it, and I'm putting priority on maxing Shadow Strike, Poison Weapon, Riposte, and Lifesteal. And Lifesteal has saved me many times, and I can get 500 hits out of Lifesteal, but normally it hits around 350 or so. I think because I'm leveling on Poison Bogans at the moment, and they have resists to it. So, alternate gear that I use, right? For one, the mount. This is my mount, the Ancient Eagle Glider, which I got yesterday. I'm so glad to be back at 80% speed. There we go.